Welcome to the Conscious Awareness.
Welcome to the Conscious Awareness and Mind Growth Academy.
Starting right now.
So, a friend of mine recently asked me, "Hey Gardner, what is the meaning of life? What is your life purpose?" On listening to this question, I realized it is the same question that life is asking of you. What is the meaning of life? And years back, I thought I knew what my life purpose was. I thought I knew what the meaning of life was all about. But I came to understand that what I thought was the meaning, what I thought was purpose, was to the contrary. I believed that for my life to have meaning, all I needed was to acquire all life equities or skills and use them upon myself. And after I have tested them, then teach them, alienate them onto the others. I thought that I acquired meaning in two different ways. One, learning and acquiring those life skills. For example, you want to become a leader, read the leadership books, go for training, get a mentor. And in that process, you're getting meaning and life fulfillment. The second, I thought, and I believed, that after acquiring those life equities, in the process of teaching them out, in the process of giving them out, then I would be getting my fulfillment, which happens not to be the case. But today, I affirm and believe that my whole purpose, after learning and unlearning, is to help people awaken into their consciousness, being aware of that they're supposed to do. Initially, it was acquiring skills, acquiring equities. But to what problem was I solving? Because unless you know the problem, then you know what kind of equities, what kind of solutions that problem entails or requires for it to be solved. Now, the greatest and most interesting bits of awakening is that you become aware of the problem, and the more you're conscious, the more problems you encounter. It is not that the problems were not there before you awakened, but it is because you're now aware of the problems that are there. Just imagine 3 men entered into a house. This house was dark. When they got into the house, they couldn't even look at each other. They couldn't see what was around them. The first man decided to be comfortable because when he tried to move, he felt there were obstacles and he could not see these obstacles. The second man tried to move, but he couldn't go any further because of too many obstacles he faced. Regardless of the little steps he made, there was no progress, there was no movement. And the third man followed and kept on trying to move. After some time, as they had been in this dark house, some lights was lit. It was dim, but enough to see what was around them. Now, the other man, the first man who had seen the obstacles, could not move further. He had already conformed. The second man who had moved further could not move because he looked at the obstacles and there was no essence for him to move. Now, the third man who had kept on persevering trying to move, when that light was lit, he tried to move, but where he was stepping were thorns, were nails, were broken glasses. He couldn't move any further. But the more he moved closer to the light, the more he was able to look at space within those sharp instruments where he managed to place his feet. And he was able to go through till he got to the light and he went out. So my purpose is to awaken your consciousness, to be aware of the problems that are around you, keeping in mind that the more you awaken yourself, the more you become conscious of yourself, the more you are able to see those problems that are around you. It's not that they are not there, they were there, and now you're able to maneuver and go through them. Your consciousness brings you to a point to realize that there are more problems in your house that are supposed to be cleaned by none other than yourself. Initially, as these men entered the house, there were more problems, but it's just because they were not aware, they were not seeing them, they were not conscious of them being there. But after gaining their consciousness, after awakening their awareness of being, they saw the problems. Many of us have opted to postpone the movement, to postpone the cleaning of our houses. But postponement does not remove these problems. It only saves them for another day. All you are supposed to do is to take charge, take up responsibility, and clean up your house, and clean up the obstacles, and clean up those challenges that befall you. Those that get up each and every morning, conscious aware of the problems, and being in position to solve the problems, are those people become better and more successful compared to those that postponed. I want to remind you that without problems, your mind is too pure to reflect reality. And therefore, my role is to light you up into your consciousness of being, into your awareness, to look at these problems and be able to solve them right here, right now.